Hi, you guys. Lady Rochelle here, author and founder of Warriors Talk, where we move away from awareness towards action. This is a special edition of Warriors Talk 31 Days of Breast Cancer Awareness Facts in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we are on day 30. So I am so excited to reach day 30. So, for those of you who have been joining me for the last 29 days, then you know I have been giving out facts as it relates to breast cancer awareness and also cancer in general. So let's talk about tonight is actually the review night. And then tomorrow night, we're going to do a prayer for those who are dealing with breast cancer, for those who have lost or just dealing with cancer in general, and those who have lost loved ones to cancer, and those who are in the battle right now fighting. So join me tomorrow for a prayer. So tonight we're doing a review. What did you learn? So we started off October 1st, kicking off Breast Cancer Awareness Night, talking about pink washing. And pink washing, that was day one, October 1st, all about individuals using breast cancer products to basically get funds from it. But some of those companies were not using the funds and had them allocated to those who are in the battle or research or anything to do with breast cancer awareness. Once you purchase the product, then you have no idea where the money was going. So, and a lot of them leave their products out there longer than October when the profits are not going towards those who are fighting cancer. So that was day one. Day two was we talked about family history, knowing your family connection as it relates to breast cancer, and having a conversation with the individuals in your family to know what it is that runs in your family, what type of cancer, what type of treatment they had, are they still alive, how long did they survive, like all of those things you should know as it relates to cancer, so that you will have a conversation with your doctor to let your doctor know, hey, so and so in my family had cancer, and this is what was the result of that. So that was day two. Day three was we talked about male breast cancer, and we know that males can get breast cancer as well. So breast cancer is not just a woman's disease, because sometimes we think about breast cancer and it's related to women, right? So no. So we're talking about males. So day three, we talked about males having breast cancer, and so in 2020, 2,600 1,000 men would be diagnosed with breast cancer, and out of that, 520 would die. So, I mean, I know those numbers don't seem like a lot, but I say one too many. One too many is enough for me. So, that was day three. Day four, we talked about the 1 in 8, because we always hear the 1 in 8 will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. So if you know 8 people, 8 women, then just know that one of those ladies are going to be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. That's just what the stats are. Day five, we talked about risk factors. What are your risk factors as it relates to breast cancer? Is it that you're overweight? Is it that you're not exercising? Is it that you have a hereditary link and you haven't talked to your family to find out what's in your family? Like, what is your risk as it relates to breast cancer? Are you touching your breast to find out what's going on? So find out what your risks are as it relates to breast cancer, so that you can learn how to decrease your risk. Day six, we talked about processing the diagnosis. So this is for those who unfortunately had a cancer diagnosis, and it's like, how did you process that diagnosis? What did you do after you got that diagnosis? And we talked about you having to process that diagnosis before you can talk to anybody else about what's going on with you, that you yourself need to process the diagnosis. And until you process it, you shouldn't be talking to anybody, because people are going to interject their feelings in on what you're going through. And the last thing you want is for people to be commenting and telling you what to do when you haven't even processed it yourself. Okay, so number seven, the day seven, we talked about survival rates as it relates to breast cancer. So we know that, they always push early detection. So if you catch it early, then your chances of surviving it and so-called curing it is higher, right? So if if they catch it early, then you have like a 99% chance of, them curing it. Once you start getting into, like, you're into stage two, it goes down. It may go to 81%. Stage three goes down to like 67%. Like, it goes down. Stage four go down to 27%. So, like, the later your stages are, then your survival rates go down. The chances of surviving goes down. So that's why they talk about the 5-year survival rate. Normally they don't like to say you're cured or you're cancer free, or until you hit that 5-year mark, right? The doctor would tell you no evidence of disease, but they like to wait really until you get to the 5 years to say, hey, you reach your 5-year mark without, a recurrence of cancer. So guess what? You're cancer free. But they'll tell you before then that you're cancer free, that there's no evidence of disease, but they like for you to get to that 5-year rate, because that's how they do their stats. They count every 5 years how many people survive cancer. So the day 8, we talked about survivorship. Like, how are you surviving? What are you doing now that you are done with cancer treatment? What are some of the things that you're doing to survive? Sort of like I don't want to say the aftermath of cancer, but like, what are you doing in your survivorship now that you're not in treatment anymore? What are some of the things that you're doing to survive? Day 9, we talked about breast cancer prevention. What can you do to prevent your cancer? And there are some things that you can do to prevent cancer. We talked about just preventing cancer has to do with you exercising and eating right, and just knowing what your risks are. Like, all of those things are inside of breast cancer prevention. So just know that right now they don't have breast cancer prevention. They focus on early detection. So focus on early detection. They don't focus on prevention, because right now they don't have a cure for breast cancer. You get the treatment, and when you're done, if they had a cure for cancer, then that means the cancer wouldn't come back. So, right, that would mean when you cure it, that means it's not coming back. So they know that they don't have a cure right now. So they always say that there's no evidence of disease. So, okay, let me try to get through this fast before my phone go dead. So, we talked about accepting the diagnosis. So my thing with accepting the diagnosis, some people say, I ain't gonna accept it, I ain't gonna claim it, I ain't gonna accept it. If I accept it, it's gonna be real. If you don't accept it, it's gonna be real. It's gonna get you a second opinion and find out what's going on, and make sure that it is or isn't what it is. And my thing with accepting the diagnosis is that even though you accept the diagnosis, it doesn't mean that you are accepting defeat. It just means that you have identified your enemy, and now you can get your weapons of mass destruction to know how to attack that enemy. So that's all we need to discuss right there. Day 11, we talked about African American women and breast cancer, how we are affected more, and how our treatments are sometimes delayed, how sometimes we have not enough insurance or no insurance. If you don't have no insurance and you need a mammogram, go to Equal Hope, and they will help you get a free mammogram. Day 12, we talked about mental health and breast cancer, because when you are going through any type of cancer, you're going to have some mental issues going on, whether you're depressed, whether you have anxiety, but you're going to have some mental issues going on where you really need to talk to someone, a doctor, so that you can get air these feelings out, right? Because people with cancer do commit suicide. The rate for suicide is higher with people with cancer. So if you're having any, and they don't really address, they're not treating the body at the same time treating the mind. They're concentrating on the body. So you have to concentrate on the mind. You get help for your mind. So day 13 was preparing for chemo. I talked about how I had to prepare for chemo. I talked about going to the dentist, making sure that you get an exam so that you won't have interruptions in treatment, packing your bag when you go to chemo, making sure you have some stuff to keep your mind stimulated, make sure you carry somebody with you when you go to chemo. Don't go by yourself, right? and to make sure that you're getting all the information on your medicine so you know what type of side effects that may come up with that. So day 14, I talked about radiation, how I prepared for that. I had 33 rounds of radiation, and how you have to come in and they fit you. They do like a simulation where they fit you for the radiation, and they mold a piece just for you wherever you're going to have the radiation. And I gave the side effects is really, for me, it was more fatigue than anything else. So we talked about on day 15 and 16, we talked about breast cancer facts and myths. So for any of these videos that I'm talking about right now, just go down my timeline, or better yet, go to my YouTube page, Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle, and you can see all the videos. You can hit all the videos. Make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. This is day 30, so all the videos will be uploaded. So if you missed a video, go to the YouTube channel Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle and watch the videos. Subscribe to the channel. So we gave myth and facts about breast cancer, because sometimes, it's so much information out there that's just not true. And then there's some things that are facts that we just don't want to believe. So I think I did 12. 6 on each day. Now, day 17 was when somebody has breast cancer, what are some things that you need to know, to try to help this person that has it. Day 18 was the do's and don'ts of breast cancer, because sometimes we say and do some of the crazy things when people are diagnosed, and we don't know that we're being ignorant, but we need to read up on it and learn how we should treat people and what to say. Day 19 was offering support to someone who had cancer. What are some things that you can do to help someone who has cancer, to make it meaningful for them, and not really beneficial for you, but meaningful for them as they go through their cancer diagnosis. So day 20, we talked about no one fights alone. Again, when you go into your appointments, always take somebody with you. When you're chemo, always take somebody with you. It doesn't matter. Take someone with you. Accept help. Don't be so, I could do it myself. I've been doing it. No. This is the one time that you can accept help and not feel guilty. So you don't have to fight alone. Day 21, we talked about the aftermath of cancer, all the things that happen after you're done with treatment, all of the side effects, all of the getting back to reality now that you're not going to any more appointments anymore, just, sitting back and saying, okay, what do I do from here? How do I pull the pieces of my life together? How do I create this new normal that I'm supposed to have? Because that old life before cancer is gone. Day 22, day 23, we talked about intimacy after cancer. Yeah, some people have issues when it comes to cancer treatment and their intimacy. Some people, women, we lose body parts, we have scars, we either gain weight or lose weight, we lose our hair, like all sorts of things are going on with our body, and we may not want nobody to touch us. We don't want nobody to look at us. We don't feel sexy for some reason. So that was day 23. It talks about how to get the intimacy back into your relationship after you have had a cancer diagnosis, because we know all of that treatment, our libidos may go down. So there is help out there for you to get if you're having any issues. Now that you're done with cancer, your intimacy, you have to create a new intimacy. Find ways to be intimate without intercourse. There are different things that you can do, different books you can read, different videos you can watch to create intimacy in your relationship. Communications is key. Talk to your partner about it. So day 24, we talked about facts you may not know about breast cancer. There are a lot of facts that, that I learned just doing this, that I did not know about breast cancer. So there are some things that you can learn in that video. Please go and watch the video, because I'm not going to go through it all right now. Day 25, we talked about the stress that comes along with breast cancer and how it impacts your life. It could be very stressful getting a breast cancer diagnosis or cancer diagnosis, period. And it can wreak havoc on your life, on your body, and on your family. And even if you're employed, just worrying about, going to work or losing your job, it's a lot. So it can create a stressful situation for you on top of what you already are going through. So day 26, we talked about the benefits of sharing your testimony, like I do all the time. I encourage you, if you are a survivor to share your testimony when you're ready. Don't allow anybody to force you, but share it when you're ready. It's healing for your soul. Trust me. Day 27, we talked about the stages of fear. After you get a diagnosis, you're going to go through the stages of fear. You're going to be denying it. You're going to be blaming folks. And then, you go through, trying to rationalize what's going on. And then you have accepted, because now you got to make a move and figure out what it is you need to do. So just like the stages of grief, you have the stages of fear after you've been diagnosed. So day 28, we talked about the benefits and the risks of clinical trials. So, some people are for clinical trials and some people are not. But in this video, I talk about the risks and the benefits so that you can get the information up front and make an informed decision. Clinical trials are there so that they can try medicine, new medicine that's coming out to have different ways and new and improved ways to treat cancer or breast cancer, so that people can have more options. And so word out is that African Americans do not participate in clinical trials enough, so that when the medicine is being approved, it's not being approved because we participated in it. So when the medicine is used on our body, it's like, oh, it's not working for us. And why? Because we didn't participate. So watch the video, get informed, and decide if you want to participate. Clinical trials are to help people in the future with cancer. Okay, so what did we talk about on day 29? I didn't even write it down. Today we're doing day 29, we talked about, forgot, just that quick. We talked about getting involved. So day 29, we talked about getting involved with cancer. And the ways that you can get involved is you can volunteer in your community. You can volunteer with the different cancer organizations that they have out here. I know I volunteered for the Cancer Treatment Center. No, for the American Cancer Society. I volunteered with them, and they would send me places to talk to people about cancer or to hand out pamphlets or booklets to people in different organizations. So there are different organizations that you can volunteer for, and that's one way of getting involved, is to volunteer in your community or volunteer for different organizations who are putting on events, asking you volunteer to help out. You can also do a fundraiser. You don't have to necessarily go through an organization. You can do one yourself, and you can take that money and donate it to the people who are in the battle. Just donate it to them so it went in their hands. I talked about maybe if a person that went through and they passed away, making a donation in their honor. And that's another way for you to get involved. You can wear pink and you can take a picture of it and you can put it on your page, and then your friends can see it and you can say, hey, this is in recognition of the people who are fighting, the people who have lost their lives, and the survivors. You can also buy pink, but when you buy pink, make sure that you know where that money is going, right? And so tonight, that was 29 days. I caught y'all up, right? So tonight is day 30, and we did a what did you learn? So I just went through 29 days of breast cancer awareness facts in the month of October. So tomorrow is the 31st day that we're going to talk about breast cancer awareness facts, and we're going to talk about the power of prayer. And if you had to go through a cancer diagnosis, and at some point in time in that journey that somebody prayed for you or you prayed for yourself. So join me tomorrow for the finale of 31 days of breast cancer awareness facts in the month of October in recognition for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And again, I have brought you already 30 facts as it relates to breast cancer. You can go to my YouTube page. It is Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle, and all the videos are on there already so far that I have done. And you can watch the videos, you can share the videos, and you can subscribe to my channel. Warriors Talk exists because we empower individuals into action for a healthier lifestyle before, during, and after a cancer diagnosis. So individuals who are dealing with cancer, or if you have a family member that's dealing with cancer, or someone that passed away from cancer, or someone who just got a diagnosis, we deal with all of it. All of it. So join me tomorrow night for the finale of 31 Days of Breast Cancer Awareness Facts. This is author and founder Lady Rochelle of Warriors Talk, where we are changing lives one warrior at a time. See you tomorrow.